So, no, okay. So, hi, guys, how are you? I'm John. I'm your MCVP OGT, and welcome to the second webinar of the educational cycle. I please you, please to mute your microphones only when you have like a question or a commentary to do. Please, like turn it on and begin to talk. So today we're gonna talk about like the SOPs, the standard. Operational procedures that is really important, especially with the product packaging strategy that we are willing to implement this summer peak. I'm going to start sharing the screen now. So now this is the presentation. So I really want to ask you, Maria, what do you think that standard operational procedure means?
I think that's like the way we should work, like the things we should follow to have a good like to have good like to work well. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So yes, what is an SOP? A standard operating procedure is a set step by step. So it's like kind of guideline instruction like some medium, bigger one organization have this step-by-step construction to help the workers, in this case, the members of ISIC, and in this case, the members of ISIC in Spain, to carry out complex routine operation. It means like, for example, what is these complex routine operations? It's like our customer flow, like the flow, like the customers come from like when they are strangers till they are promoters. So all of these steps of customer flow maybe seem really long and maybe seem complex, but with the standard operational procedures, like it turns really more understanding. And also, this main aims to be efficient and to be oriented in the quality and the uniformity or standardized performance. By this, we also reduce miscommunication. Like, for example, if an EP was migrated from Valencia and goes to Bellaterra, um, to have like the same message, the same procedures to follow in order like to take care of the brand and all of the things that require like the customer experience. So, how does an SOP look like? This is a disclaimer. This is an example, but like it's really clear to know like each part of the customer flow should or like extra parts of the customer flow should have a standard operational procedure. So in this case we're having an example of pre-attraction. So it's the pre-attraction part. This is the timeline. This is like the steps that we should do, the areas of work, the target audience, like who like to whom like we can have this is SOP. What do we need to do to fulfill this SOP, and what do we expect that doing with this SOP will do? In this case, we are looking for we're seeing an example of IGT. What does an IGT area does to have like from open like complete? Okay, what does it mean? Like in this case, we can like really divide in the SOPs. We should divide each part of the customer flow in order to not confuse, in order to be like more easier to understand and not confuse the people. So for each part of the customer flow we should have a different standard operational procedure. Then we should put the timeline. So, for example, we know that the part of a attraction should take from the EP that it's a visitor till the sorry it's a stranger till the EP that it's like starting to apply, etc. So like sorry, starting to sign up. So like we know that in this matter of time we have to contact the EP in 24 hours. So we have to put this timeline or this specific time that this a part of the customer flow should have. And like this, to give it more easier, to give more clarity, we should put a step by step what do we need to do. The more it doesn't mean difficult to have more steps, because if we can break down these steps to follow, it's easier to the members to understand. We need to think about like the newbies that are starting. We need to have like these SOPs as easier as possible that if a member or a person that doesn't know anything about ISIC reads, can easily understand what they should do. Okay, in the area of work, what we said, like it's like the specific thing or the specific field that we need to work on it. Then who do we need to apply this activity, like the audience that we need, and what activity we need to apply it in the criteria. This is really important to have clarity and to know like step by step what we do, especially the expected outcome, because this is mainly about like the KPIs that we want to see. For example, we know that in attraction we should do, for example, stands, but if we don't have like the expected outcome, that it's specific numbers of sign-ups, we will realize if this activity that it's part of the standard operating procedure was successful or not. So we need to really be clear the outcome that we need in order that people understand the importance of each step. Why do we need this? As Maria was saying, like we are an international organization, so like we are in Spain, we're in Italy, we're in Brazil. So we need to provide the same quality and standardized service in every single ISEC. It means like ISEC in USFQ that is in Ecuador should have like the same procedures as ISEC in Bellaterra, for example. So we need to remember, guys, that every person that you attract, every person that trusts in our brand, is trusting ISIC as a whole organization, not your local chapter. Because as you know, you are the represents in Bellaterra, in Pompeo, in Madrid of ISIC in general. So we really need to take that into consideration. And also in the part of members, of newbies, we should know we are like approaching this era of having new people to have to train, new people to lead. So it's really important that you have this easier way to explain how to do it. Many people sorry, many people confused and think that the SOPs are a replacement of the customer flow, and it's not. Like that's false. It's like a way to get to understand the customer flow easier, okay? Because in order to be a stranger to a promoter, and the standard operating procedure is like the step by step that we have internal to move the customer from the trader to promoter. The customer flow is status based. So if I have an EP that is like in applied, I know that the EP have applied, but I don't know what else. Maybe the EP applied organically in the case of mainly GT, that we are facing that like really really like every day. But it doesn't tell me more. But the SOPs tell me the action based. Okay, if the people are implementing the SOPs in the local chapters, we know that from this applied, these steps um were existing before the status, okay? And the customer flow is the customer based, how like you can explain how like the customer knows the status of the process. But the SOP is like member based, how to teach the member to follow the path in order to accompany the EP in the customer flow. And the customer flow is the what, like what the stages we are, and the standard operating procedures is how we move the people. Okay, there are some examples of SOPs, like in general, that every ISEC in every local chapter should have, and we can define it. This is valid from OGE and as well as OGT side. So we all know that we need to do after attraction, pre-attraction. Do you know, Maria, why doing pre-attraction is important and not get directly into attraction?
I think that we have to like to think about what we are gonna do, because if we go there and we just do attraction without thinking why and what do we want to like achieve, I don't think this attraction will be like effective. So that's why.
Yes. For example, it's a really good thing. If in the town of, I don't know, ABC, people 90 percentage of the population are vegetarian, maybe McDonald's is not a good idea to have in this town because people doesn't consume meat. That's why every organization that it's having products do pre-attraction first, that it's a pre-stage to know if the product will be feasible or not, to who will be feasible, how to make it feasible, etc., etc. So, this is are some SOPs that we should have. The first thing that we're gonna work, especially personally in the one-to-ones of next week, will be define your customer persona. That means that you have to investigate about your university because your university is your main field to work, and you have to find this customer persona demographically, psychographically, and like according to the value proposition canvas. It means that, for example, the customer persona of Bellaterra is not the same customer persona of Pompeo regarding G. So that's why you need to define who is the this standard person that you will promote the product. Then you need to study like the previous cases of and the performance of your entity in order to see if your product it's in which stage. If it's introducing in the market, so it's new, no one knows it. If it's more common and so it's expected to grow, the maximum I don't know how to say the maximum edge of knowledge of the market and all that stuff. So it's starting to decrease according to the naturally curve of a product. Okay, so by analyzing the results of the past 3 terms, you can see in which stage you are in terms of the product, both in GE or GT. Then you have to make your IR. That's why IR came first in order to product package. Product package, as I tell you, people, it's a really interesting and important trend, not only in Spain but overall. And we have seen the good results that in some entities that apply product package in the correct way they have. So you really need to have your IR partnership established before, so you know how to sell the partners, what projects are the partners offering, etc., etc. Because if you don't know, you won't reach the necessity of the customer, and you will not communicate the message effectively. Then you have to define like the key message, the campaign, the strategies that you need to have, like what are the things that you need to say in the pitch of the for to attract EPs, what campaigns needs to do. Maybe for example, you realize that a really professional stand attracts more than a really colorful and not so professional stand. Maybe you realize that, and by that you need data and you need previous experiences. So also you can analyze customer interviews, for example, past people that have experienced the product, in order that you know which were like the points of improvements, what are the strengths for the people that were actually this experience, this information to boost your level of convincing people to go in the product in GE or in GT. By this side, is everything clear from now on, or do you have any questions?
No, it's fine.
Awesome. This is like the standard operational procedure, like the general one from attraction. So we know that people that we attract that are stranger are people that uh, doesn't know like what G is about, what GT is about. So like what we need to do from this stranger is first to promote the partner opportunities. So we need to be really clear on that, and it is important to start the operational procedure. We are not selling GE as general. We're selling for example, an HR opportunity in Ukraine or a IT opportunity in Vitoria, Brazil, in a startup. So that's really important because we are not selling other opportunities that are not our partners. Okay, that's really important to know. That's why you are like boosting your LC to LC partnership. You are mastering like the realities, and you are investigating more about your partners in order that you can sell more. And then you have to always communicate the value proposition we defined earlier. In Connect, we saw like both value proposition, both in GT and GE, and we knew that are different value proposition. We need to be clear on that and communicate effectively this value proposition that each product has. And then like we really need to make it easier for the customer. It means like the less explanation you give, the more clear you are delivering the message. By that I mean like try to clarify doubts of the EP in the pitch. This is a really interesting like way to know if we are delivering okay. So like you really need to solve beforehand the questions of what is your product, what is GE, what is GT, to who we are selling GE GT. So it means to persona, when. So like we know like when we're realizing, where, like our partners, why, because like it's the proposition, the value proposition, and how much is the price. By this, you really need to boost in your materials. We're working in the national office to have this, but if you have some ways to explain the EPs in the better way, like these questions, like it's amazing. So this is some of physical activities that you can have, like the info booth. It's not a stand. It's like it's connected with a stand, but it's that you and your members are like in the faculty, like in the faculty focus, really according to your customer persona, and start to approach people and tell about ISEC, like to have like a conversation with them, and then propose like the the products. Then you can go like the shouts, like you can investigate beforehand like what are the classes in what time, and you can go and have like a 5 minute speech that you are in the, I don't know, in the hall, and you are doing a stand in order that people reach you and have more information. Maybe you have events about entrepreneurship regarding GE, or maybe job fairs regarding GT. So you need to check like what are the events of of your university or your city in order to have presence on this. And also university relations are important because the university is the one ally that will help you a lot, and having the support of the university, you will send volume emails, have facilities, etc. So in the part of the digital activities, this is mainly for the national part, managing social media, having the right message, etc. And also it's really good the uni platforms, in order like that the university maybe can give you access to their website, and they can put the link of ISEC there, etc. So that's a way to attract the strangers. When they are turning visitors, like when they already sign and apply for a geo opportunity, you have to be clear that you need to have EP manager always, because some information are coming to your EP manager, and also you need to assign all the EGE signups to your members. Remember that members are the ones that execute and have the EP management, and this is a standard procedure of everyone in the world. You need to contact the EP in 24 hours and check if the EP fits in GE or not. So you have three options. If the EP fits, you continue selling it GE. If the EP doesn't fit, you need to see if the profile is more for GT or GB, and then you can send them. And if they are not interested in GE, GB, or GT, you can ask them maybe to join ISEC if we are in admission season, or maybe you can let the EP go because it doesn't fit in ISEC standards. Maybe you can like use the Expa V3 to track all of the activities that the EP is having, and that's really important because we can track it better, and we can help you in the stages that the EP is having. Because some of the times you can say me in WhatsApp, hey John, I have this EP is like that, etc. But if you put in the Expa V3 what's the situation of the EP, I can read and I can help you. um and then like you need to be really pushy with the EPs, for example applying 2 times 3 rule or regla del dos por tres. In order if the EPs are not contacting, then you can have like info sessions with the partners, like to explain more deeply about the product and like really be in touch with the customer in order that they don't lose this wish to go, in order that they can feel connected. And for example, if they are not feel contacted, make the EP apply to more opportunities, etc., etc. The KPIs that we need to measure in the attraction part is sign up number of signups when we are strangers and number of applicants. And guys, we really need to take in consideration. We can't expect to reach our goals of approvals if we are not reaching the goals as well of applicants and the goal as well for signups. That's why conversion rates exist. So you need to really be clear on which is your conversion rate of sign up to applicant and have a goal to reach this conversion rate. The process time needs to be no more than 2 days. Okay, so like if the person sign ups in order to apply, 2 days should have passed maximum in order that the EP is in applicant. Okay, do you have any questions regarding this part? No?
No, no.
Okay, so everything is clear. Then after attraction, we have consideration part. So the consideration part is the part like the EP, okay, and they know about ISEC, they know about the product, they know about like the projects that we offer, both in GE and the opportunities that we offer in GT. So like we really need that when the EP apply, we need to reach the accepted, okay, and then the approval. So in the apply to accepted part, we really need to have to clean the EP. How it like what it means to clean the EP in order to see the EP's availability, when the EP can go, if the CV is correct, if they're having like the experience, if the EP is well prepared for interviews, etc., etc., etc. In the like it says that you have to set right expectations here, but you have to set right expectations since the EP is in the part of a stranger, like to when you are explaining the product as well. So like you really need to tell the EP and make them very clear that you have 2 days in order to apply and 3 days in order to apply, and that will decrease our process time. That it's also measurable that we need to look if we want to be like really customer oriented. Sorry, as you know that some OP managers don't reply or the APs are wondering that they are not receiving any mail from the applications. So you really need to use the mails that you got in order to track the ICX part, and also to use the WhatsApp groups in order to accelerate the process of interview to the AP. You really need to be aware and to schedule when the EP has interview and all that in order to prepare the EP beforehand, because we have to know that in GE and GT interviews are very very important, and they depend if the EP are accepted or not, and some of our EPs will be the first interview that will they have, so we need to prepare. So we need to be really constant trackers and assist the customer like in the accepting opportunity. If this accepted, we know that both in GE and GT, it's a really, really huge advance that an EP is accepted. So we cannot lose this EP, and we really need to assist them in order to convert them into approved as soon as possible. uh then we have like the EP management tracker, like that's up to the LCs in order to have a EP management tracker. That's mainly in XPAV 3. If the EP you can put if the EP sign the contract, missing to sign the contract, and you can put task on your member to track this. And you have to really track your IR partners in order to boost this time. If the EPs are rejected, tell them that it's not a thing that they can leave the product because we have opportunities, and that's why I'm really pushing an application ratio, because if the EP is rejected in one, they will have 4 or 6 or 7 or 8 more opportunities to follow. The more opportunities the EP applied, the more chances they have to get accepted. Okay, So, girls, you really need to encourage your EPs to apply to more opportunities. And when the EP is accepted, we need to sign up. We convert it in approval. So, as soon as the EP is accepted, you really need to make them to fill the LDA survey and also to accept the opportunity. Doing that, we will have all of the control of the approved process, and we will not depend of the EP filling the survey or that, and that will be reduce a lot of time to have the approval. And then we have to confirm all of the stuff, if the product, if the opportunity matches with the things that we said before, like the days, the benefits, and all that stuff, in order to check if everything is correct and not have problems after. Then we have to prepare the EPs in order to read the contract, read the XPPs. We have to know, be aware that the XPPs are merging the contract as well. So we have to educate about with the to the EP about their rights and obligations. And we have to send the contract, check if the contract is correct, and do the approval as soon as possible. The KPIs that we measure on consideration parts is accepts and approval, and the conversion rate is percentage of applicant to accept and percentage to accept to approve. The ideal process time that have from this part is 7 days. In GE, we are having 6 days, and in GT we're having 17 days. So it's really good to for a GT, because normally it takes 20, so we are below the average, uh, like in process time. So we are faster than like the global average. So it's really good. We can improve more if we are working with the partners. In this part of the SOPs, do you have any doubts, any questions?
No, not for now.
Awesome. So, we really need to be aware that the SOP is the minimum that should happen in the customer's journey. So like if you have like other ways to do it or more things to do, it's okay. But like this is the minimum things that needs to happen, and the minimum measurables that we need to track. Okay, so please, how can I embed the SOPs in my local entity? First, understand why this SOP is important, why we need SOPs, and then we need to read it to understand it. If we are not understanding something or a point, we need to ask your MCVP, etc., and know the importance. So really, girls, I really encourage you in order to um, really be analyze these SOPs, check them, and if you have any doubts, please tell them to me in order to clarify and make them that make you understand like the importance of it. We know that every entity has their different realities, and we also care about like each reality of your LC. So for that reason, the SOPs are minimum, but you can tailor the SOPs or maybe add some things or modify or improve it in order to have like maybe if you are having that entrepreneurship events in the university are not so cool, you can have like a parallel event or something like that. So this SOPs doesn't mean that you can 100% attach to it and all that stuff, but to have a frame to guide you in order to how you can improve your product performance. And really, girls, in order that the SOP work and all of the process that we're doing work, we really need to track it. If we don't track it, we won't have data. We don't have any idea or how are the things going. This is a correct example that what is happening this month. If we are not tracking how many signups do we have, how many acceptance do we have, the approvals will come randomly and we will not have control of it. But if we track step by step and each part of the customer flow, we will have more insights and more strategies to reach our goals. And remember that ISIC is about leadership and striving for excellence. So if you think that by practicing these SOPs and improving it, you have a better version, please tell to us in order that we can implement and maybe make them a GCP not only in the national side but also in the regional or global side. That's a mainly the information about SOPs. In Spain, we have for sure SOPs. As you can know, we have SOPs, like more specific SOPs in the consideration and brand advocacy part. In consideration, we have the consideration guideline that really I encourage you to check. We have the whole consideration guideline, and we have the consideration guideline in a nutshell. So it's like the steps that you should do in order to have a better way to consider in the consideration part, because we know it's a bottleneck. And also, if you are having EPs that are finished, you have this brand advocacy guideline that ignore it to have these measurables. So this is the things that is regarding SOPs. So I really want to ask you, especially Maria, do you have some insights, points of view, etc., in order to about like the SOPs?
I think it's too many information, so we have to like start working to see what we can do and what like to practice. And
Awesome. The best way to implement the SOP is by doing it. Like I have these things. Okay, I follow a step by step what I need to do, and then I will realize, okay, this will work, it doesn't work,
mhm,
and this can improve it, etc. But this will be really useful to you, to your team leaders and your team members in order to understand all of the things, because as you said, it's a lot of information. But
yeah,
if you start implementing it, it turns it automatically. So everyone, if you practice, you will have not only it will reach a point that you won't need to check the SOP material, but
mm,
do it like naturally, you know? So that's the importance of having SOPs.
mhm,
Okay, so yes, that's all by my side. So if you don't have any question, please check this video. If you don't have any doubts, check the materials, and pass it to your members, pass it to your team leaders,
mhm.
because it's going to be really useful to get some topic as fast as possible. So that's all by my side. I hope that you enjoyed the webinar, and thank you.